You're gonna do. You wanna start? Well, Steve's coming up.
No, they're trying to fix them. We gotta get them fixed. Yeah.
All right, should I start?
No, we're gonna get them fixed. We gotta put money in to get them fixed.
Okay. Okay. Everybody stand with us. There he is.
Supervisor.
All right, good. All right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today as we gather to recognize and celebrate National Voter Registration Day 2025, a day dedicated to strengthening our democracy by ensuring that every eligible American has the opportunity, the tools, and the encouragement to register to vote. Since its inception, National Voter Registration Day has become a powerful reminder that participation is the cornerstone of a healthy democracy. It's more than just a day on the calendar, it's a nationwide call to action. Whether you're registering for the first time, updating your information, or helping others to do the same, today is about making sure that every voice has a chance to be heard.
And we are proud to stand with our partners, our community leaders, students, public officials, and advocates from across the county who are working tirelessly to expand civic access for all. Today's press conference is not only a celebration, it's a commitment to accessibility, transparency, and empowerment. In the coming moments, you'll hear from voices who are leading and supporting efforts to ensure that no one is left out of the democratic process. Let's remember that every voter matters, every registration counts, and today we take one more step in capturing as many eligible residents as possible in our great county. Thank you again for joining us, and we will now ask our esteemed Monroe County Executive, Adam Bello, to please come up and share a few words.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Commissioner. It's great to be here with everyone today to celebrate National Voter Registration Day. This marks actually the fourth year, I think, that we've been here bringing attention to the importance of voting. And I'd like to point out how important it is that we here today also are here with a spirit of bipartisanship. Here you have standing in front of you representatives from the Democratic Party, Republican Party, elected officials, Board of Elections, commissioners, in a bipartisan, I'd like to say nonpartisan way to send a clear message to this community that we need to register to vote. Your vote matters, and Election Day is coming up just around the corner. I'd also like to point out, it was just yesterday that I was actually in Albany with another bipartisan group of elected officials and leaders from across the state, where we were talking about a program called Disagree Better, where we were reflecting on the murder of Charlie Kirk last week, and we were reflecting on the amount of political violence that we've been seeing over the last several years, and assassination attempts amongst leaders in this country and of local communities from both parties, and that this level of violence really has to stop. We as Americans, though, we settle our differences and our political differences at the ballot box. And that's got to be part of the message here today, that as Americans, we register to vote, we have political disagreements, we do so in an agreeable way, and we turn out and we settle our differences by voting. So everyone matters. Every vote matters. And whether, every vote, whether there's a policy, the candidate that you support, every election day you have the opportunity to turn up and voice your preference. And voting is the most important way that you make your voice heard. It's important to remember that elections in Monroe County, they do take place every year. It's not just in presidential years. Local elections have a direct impact on your neighborhoods, your schools, your infrastructure, your everyday lives. The decisions that are made by the people who are standing here with me and behind me, people who work in this building, over in City Hall, and at your town and village halls across this community, have a direct impact on your day-to-day lives. And so it's important to turn out and show your elected officials and give them the direction that you want them to take your community. And how you choose your vote will affect the decisions that will shape your community for years to come. So I want to thank our Board of Elections for working to reach out to residents of Monroe County, whether it's through the LEAP program, which pre-registers 16 and 17-year-olds. Actually, I just saw that. My 16-year-old son just registered to vote, and when he was asked to register, I said, "That's weird, you're not 18 yet," but he was very proud to look at his dad and say, "All right, I'll register to vote for you." But 16 and 17-year-olds can vote. But by partnering with local community organizations, I see you out in the community constantly. Annette, you're just like a powerhouse out there. Registering people to vote where they live and they work, and the outreach makes it easier for people to get and stay engaged in the voting process. So I'll just close with a message to our neighbors, our friends, family, and community members. If you are not already registered, please register to vote now and then make a plan to vote this year. Our democracy works best when everyone participates. Now I'd like to turn it over to my partner in government across the street, the Mayor, Malik Evans.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. County Executive. It's great to be here. I'm going to be brief. I just want to thank some of our elected officials that are here, County Legislative President Eversha Roman, and also City Council President Miguel A. Melendez Jr., and of course, our great County Clerk, Jamie Romeo, for being here, and of course, our other elected officials that I know you probably hear from Mike Zell in a second. I want to thank Jackie and Peter for running one of the best board of elections that we have in the state. I think that we work very closely together. Monroe County has a history of board of elections, both on the Republican side and the Democratic side, working together to make sure that people, that we expand the franchise, that people are able to vote. And as you know, October 6th is National Voter Education Week, and leading up to that, we need to make sure that we encourage people to get out and register to vote, because you can't complain if you don't vote. You can complain, but I listen to you more if you vote. Because then I have a right to, because I can say, oh, I voted for that mayor, and man, you can complain all you want. But in a democracy, it works better when people's voices are being able to be heard. And we also have worked so hard over the last couple of years in this state and in this county to lower the barriers to make people have the participation to vote. But still, not enough people take advantage of it. Now, getting people to the polls is a challenge in and of itself. But the first step, you got to get them to register. And we want to make sure that we do that by going to people, by making it easier for people to be able to do that. And in Monroe County, we have made it so very easy for people to vote. I want to point out our commissioner, Dr. Shirley Green. We've opened up our R centers to make sure that young people and families can come in and register and learn about voting in a non-partisan way. This is not a partisan issue. It is a human issue. It is a citizen issue. It is a common sense issue. So my only message is, please let's encourage our folks to vote. And I say this to Ms. Annette Ramos all of the time. One of the things that I realized is sometimes arguing with adults about why it's important to vote, it is exhausting. But you know who gets it? Young people. They understand the importance of voting and what it means. And if you can get to them when they're 16 or 17 and pre-register, and getting them to pre-register to vote like we're doing here, that will go an extremely long way. And that is why voter education is extremely important. And we can tell the stories about why we do this. Remember, if you're a woman, I don't even know, it's been less than like 100 years that you've had the right to vote. Remember that. Some African Americans in the South, you really didn't get the franchise until like 1965. So there are people who fought, died, and bled for the right for you to be able to vote. So please, let's make sure that you take advantage of that opportunity. So I want to thank the folks for doing that. And we have something for Peter and Jackie. You guys will have to hang this in the middle. So, so this just says, whereas the right to vote is the foundation of American democracy, placing the power to decide our future in the hands of we the people, and
whereas National Voter Registration Day, first observed in 2012, has become a nationwide nonpartisan call to action to ensure that every eligible citizen is registered and ready to participate in our shared democracy.
And whereas since its creation, more than 5 million Americans have registered to vote on this day, including record-breaking numbers during the presidential election years, demonstrating the enduring power of civic engagement. And
Rochester, home to Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony, has long stood at the forefront of the fight for equality and suffrage, and their legacy continues to inspire our commitment to protecting and expanding the right to vote.
And whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections advances this mission today by pre-registering high school students, registering new Americans at naturalization ceremonies, hiring youth as election inspectors, and working with the diverse partners to reach citizens where they live, work, and play. Now, therefore, we, Malik D. Evans, Mayor of the City of Rochester, New York, and Adam J. Bello, Monroe County Executive, do hereby proclaim September 16, 2025 to be National Voter Registration Day in Rochester and Monroe County, and urge all citizens to register, update their registration, and participate fully in shaping the future of their communities, their county, and their country. And just let me say, because I'm a local elected official, because I'm local, and we don't get that much love, Adam, as the presidential years. Register to vote. Let's break records doing local. Local is just as important as national, and we know that people just think when the national elections are important, but this is a local election year, and we still want to make sure that we break records. So register to vote today. Thank you.
I would like to introduce the President of the Supervisors Association, Mike Zale, and also recognize our Minority Leader, Steve Brew.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't say how cool is this, you know, that from different walks of life, from different parties, you know, I get to stand here as a kid from Brockport that represents the town of Ogden and stand here with, you know, the Rochester City Mayor and the County Executive, the clerk as well, people that I interact with on a regular basis because we actually need each other in local government. And how cool is that? I mean, I'm a little bit younger, which is fun to say. But at the end of the day, we're here because people voted for us to represent this county, this city, and our townships. And as much as the county executive wants to say that the county's the most important, you know, we've got a lot of towns in this county as well. And, you know, and there's a lot of local elections and elected leaders that represent those municipalities as well. So I just want to say thank you, first of all, to the Board of Elections, the county executive, the mayor, and all the community partners that are here bringing us together. I just thank you for this invitation. I also get to be here as somebody who has been a teacher and an educator, and I think this is part of my journey as well. As I didn't leave education, I get to continue to do that. In fact, I was blessed to see one of my former students here who is actively participating in this challenge today, so thank you for that. National Voter Registration Day is a reminder of something our founders knew very well, that a free people must also be a participating people. The ballot box is not just a right, it's the mechanism by which liberty is truly preserved, especially in a time like this. We're reminded that disagreements are part of our democracy, but the solutions to those disagreements must be solved in one way, and one way alone, using our strongest weapon available to us, and that is to vote. This is the only way that we can turn division into direction and hope into action. And it's often the elections that are closest to home that truly shape our lives directly. Local elections for local leaders that make decisions that touch our daily lives, the roads we drive on, the parks our children play in, the services our families rely upon. These off-year elections are really something that maybe they don't dominate the headlines. Thank God for that. But they define the character of our communities and our families and our homes. And that's why today we're asking every resident to take simple but powerful steps. Ensure that your voter registration is up to date. And you can check that right on the BOE website. Confirm that everybody in your household is registered. Be an informed voter. Learn who is on the ballot, what offices are at stake each and every year. Take advantage of early voting. It's quick and it's easy, and it's available at multiple sites across Monroe County. Share your knowledge and experience. Consider serving as an elections inspector, and for our Spanish-speaking neighbors, as a language interpreter. These roles strengthen access and fairness in our elections. I actually believe that voting is more than a civic duty. I think it's strengthening, and I think it's really a stewardship of the blessings that God has bestowed on us as Americans. It's how we honor the freedom entrusted to us and ensure it endures for the next generations to come. So let today be more than a reminder. Let it be a commitment that Monroe County will be ready, and that every voice will be heard, every neighbor respected, every election, whether local or national, that it will reflect the very best of who we are. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. We are so glad to have all of our partners with us. We are now going to call up one of our hardest working team members. Several years ago when we first got to the board, one of the things that we talked about it being so important was that community engagement aspect of what we need to do. But we are always so tied up with the actual logistics of running an election that we knew that it was extremely important to have dedicated individuals on our team focus on community education, civic engagement, and all of those wonderful things that get to the participation aspect of what it is that we try to achieve. So today we are going to bring up one of our lead individuals, our community engagement coordinator, Miss Annette Ramos. But before we do that, we also have additional things that we'd like to share with you.
I do also want to say that our community engagement team has become a very central part of how the Board of Elections reaches out to our community. And I want to thank Annette personally for the great relationship that we've had and her just outstanding abilities to get this done. So she is tireless. She is just tireless. She has a great attention to detail, from everything from where we're going to what's going to be there to how it's going to be tabled to how the van's going to be parked. So she's just incredible in terms of what she does. Would like to also announce that we are having an open house at our Board of Elections facility on October 2nd from 4 to 6 p.m. Jackie and I, we didn't really introduce ourselves, by the way. This is Jackie Ortiz. I'm Peter Elder. We're just so used to working together, it doesn't even occur to us. But anyways, it is a place where everyone is welcome to come. We're at 435 Smith Street. We've had a great opening at our new facility, and eventually all of our equipment, all of our personnel, by about December 1st will be in that facility. But you as the public, hope the press, everyone here, please come out on October 2nd from 4 to 6 p.m.
And with that, we'd like to ask our fabulous Miss Annette Ramos, our Community Engagement Coordinator, to please come on up and share a little bit today with us about her work and helping us gather everyone here today. Annette.
Thank you so much. First of all, it takes true leaders to see a vision, and the vision that these commissioners are bringing to Monroe County on civic engagement is profound. It's even beyond the dream I had. When I first stepped into this role, I grew up in a household where voting was an honor, a privilege, and a responsibility. So I thank you for giving me the empowerment and the momentum Secondly, it takes a whole team of people to do what we do well. And I want to introduce our wonderful team partner. Stephen, come on up. He will be demoing our new voting machines right there to the machine. And that way, we at the Board of Elections want to ensure that when you come to the ballot, you are ready to vote. To be vote ready and to know that we have new voting machines that are fully accessible to all abilities in Monroe County. Last, I want to acknowledge all the community partners that we have built over the last 4 years, from college campuses and universities that are holding pop-ups today on voting, to all the community nonprofits and the 4 business partners. Recently, I had the honor of connecting with our MAPI, and we came up with an idea and a vision. Civic health is part of the vibrancy of any community that thrives and functions to uplift every citizen in our county, in our towns, and in our city. Local elections have a greater impact in our roads, our schools, and even my high school kids know, even our lunches. So our LEAP program was a brilliant idea by our commissioner, Natalie Shepard, and I ran with it because I know the future of our democracy is in the hands of our young people that will be elected officials and set new policies and institute new laws that will make Monroe County and our towns and our cities great. Great in the sense of civic empowerment. I want to acknowledge last the beautiful presentation behind me. These panels, these quilt panels, are from the 2020 100-year anniversary of women's rights to vote, and I'm extremely grateful to have partnered with the Susie B. Anthony Museum and Home to present them here today. You see, 100 years ago, women's work was just needlepoint and stitching. But secretly, they were a call to action, to agitate, to advocate, and to empower future generations of registered voters. Our pop-up, so thank you both, and thank you all 50-plus community partners today that are holding voter registration pop-ups. Thank you all, and remember, voting local is your power and your privilege. Thank you.
That's a demonstration of just how good she is and why she's heading great. So you get the gist. So I do want to reiterate one of the things Annette said, which is at the end of this presentation, we are going to have a demo for our new voting machines. If you are not here today, you can always see this as well in a video on the Board of Elections website. I'd encourage you to go there to witness and look at the video of how to actually vote on this machine. It's very simple, but it definitely is a good idea to have that before you go on the polling site. It'll help you when you get there on Election Day. So Jackie and I are going to do our own proclamation, which we've never done at the Board of Elections before, but because this deals with voting, we felt it appropriate. So she is going to start.
All right. Whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections encourages countywide voter registration, access, and citizen participation in all elections, and whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections recognizes the value of educating voters on registration deadlines, updating voter registration information, and familiarity with voter registration processes, and whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections acknowledges that reliable and trustworthy public information on voter registration that is critical to Americans' active participation in elections and to the integrity of the electoral processes, and
whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections appreciates the need for diverse partners, including but not limited to not-for-profits, libraries, businesses, colleges, and universities, and community leaders with whom to work to register citizens to vote in the communities that we serve. And whereas the Monroe County Board of Elections value these partnerships to create awareness and active registered voters ready to vote in every election. And whereas National Voter Registration Day addresses voter issues by serving as a nationwide nonpartisan rallying point to promote voter registration that helps eligible voters across the country get vote ready to participate in our shared democracy, therefore be it resolved that the Monroe County Board of Elections declares the third Tuesday of every September as National Voter Registration Day and commits to joining national efforts to support voter registration and citizen participation in elections. And thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your attendance. Please do your best, do your part to help us all out. Please stick around. We have that voting demonstration, the ability to see the quilts. And again, thank you, all of our partners and our elected officials and everyone here today for really knowing and understanding and appreciating what this is and all the work that you all do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.